You don't have a distraction problem. Delete your productivity apps. I'm serious. Right now. Every single one. The focus timers, the website blockers, the meditation apps you downloaded last month and opened twice. Delete them. They're not helping you focus. They're giving you permission to stay distracted. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's 10 at night. You had 8 hours today. 8 hours where you could have worked on the thing that actually matters. The business that could get you out of your job. The body that could get you out of your depression. The skill that could change everything. And what did you do? You researched productivity systems. You watched videos about focus. You reorganized your desk. You updated your to-do list for the 4th time this week. You feel productive. You feel like you did something, but you didn't produce anything. Here's what nobody will tell you, because the truth is too uncomfortable, too brutal, too close to the bone. You're not distracted because you lack discipline. You're distracted because you're terrified. You're addicted to the feeling of being busy without the risk of actually creating something that could fail. Think about it. Distraction isn't a bug in your system. It's a feature. It's a defense mechanism. It's how your scared animal brain protects you from confronting the one question that keeps you up at night. What if I try my hardest and I'm still not good enough? So you scroll, you watch, you consume. You tell yourself you're learning, but you're not learning. You're hiding. Niccolo Machiavelli understood something about human nature that your favorite productivity guru will never admit. He said that most men would rather live in comfortable mediocrity than die trying for greatness. They choose the slow death of distraction over the violent act of focus. Because focus isn't peaceful. Focus isn't calm background music and a clean desk. Focus is warfare. It's the systematic elimination of everything that doesn't serve the objective. It's killing your distractions before they kill you. And you've been negotiating with the enemy. You've been trying to manage your distractions. You've been gentle. You've been understanding. You've given them second chances. That ends today. Let's cut through the self-help garbage and look at what's actually happening in your brain right now. Every time you pick up your phone when you should be working, you're not taking a break. You're choosing immediate chemical satisfaction over delayed real achievement. Your brain dumps dopamine when you see that notification, when you scroll, when you click. It's the same neurological pathway as gambling, as cocaine, as any addiction you can name. The only difference? Society celebrates this one. I'm so busy, you say, showing your 47 open tabs and 12 productivity apps. And people nod. They understand. They're busy too. But busy isn't the same as effective. Busy is just noise. Busy is just motion without direction. Busy is a hamster wheel that you mistake for a race. Here's the truth you don't want to hear. You are choosing this. Every single time. Your distraction isn't accidental. It's a deliberate act of self-sabotage, orchestrated by the part of you that's terrified of finding out what you're actually capable of. That voice in your head that says, I'll just check this one thing real quick, or I deserve a break, or I'll start fresh on Monday. That's not you. That's the parasite. That's the part of your psyche that wants you weak, that wants you mediocre, that wants you safe. And you've been listening to it. You've been obeying it. You've been its servant. Think about the last time you tried to focus, really focus, on the hard thing, the thing that scares you. What happened? 5 minutes in, your brain started screaming. It gave you anxiety. It gave you this crawling restlessness in your skin. It told you that you needed to check something, that you were missing something important, so you checked. And the anxiety went away, and you felt relief. That's the trap. Distraction isn't the problem. Distraction is the symptom. The problem is that you've trained your nervous system to associate deep work with danger and shallow work with safety. Your brain has learned a simple equation. When I focus on what matters, I feel bad. When I distract myself, I feel good. So now, at a subconscious level, you are programmed to avoid the very thing that could save you. You're not weak. You're just domesticated. And domesticated animals don't hunt. They wait to be fed. I want you to picture something with me. Picture a wolf, a real wolf, in the wild. When it's hungry, what does it do? It hunts. It doesn't check its phone to see if food is nearby. It doesn't watch YouTube videos about hunting techniques. It doesn't wait for motivation. It just moves, silent, focused, lethal. Now picture a dog. Same species, same DNA, but domesticated. When it's hungry, what does it do? It sits by the bowl. It waits. It begs. It whines. And if nobody feeds it, it doesn't hunt. It just gets more desperate, more pathetic. That's what happened to you. Somewhere along the way, you traded your fangs for a food bowl. You traded your instinct for instructions. You traded your power for permission. And now you're sitting there, waiting for someone to give you focus, waiting for someone to remove your distractions, waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect system, the perfect environment. But here's what's going to happen if nothing changes. In 5 years, you'll still be planning, still researching, still preparing. You'll have a hard drive full of half-finished projects and a browser full of tabs about how to be productive. And one day you'll wake up and realize you spent your entire life getting ready to live instead of actually living. That's the slow death. That's what happens when you negotiate with your distractions instead of killing them. Now let me tell you about the other path. Machiavelli wrote about 2 types of strength: the strength of the lion and the cunning of the fox. The lion frightens wolves but falls into traps. The fox sees the traps but can't frighten the wolves. Your distractions are both the wolves and the traps. Social media? That's a trap. It promises connection but delivers isolation. It promises information but delivers confusion. It promises relaxation but delivers cortisol spikes every time you refresh. Your phone? That's a wolf. It hunts you. It waits for the moment you're vulnerable, the moment you're bored, the moment you're uncomfortable, and it attacks. With a notification, with a buzz, with the promise of something new. You cannot fight these forces with discipline alone. Discipline is the lion. It's strong in the moment, but it gets tired. It falls into the trap of just this once. It negotiates. You need something colder, something that doesn't tire, something that doesn't negotiate. You need a system designed to make distraction impossible. Here's what the productivity industry will never tell you, because if they did, you wouldn't need their apps anymore. You cannot win a fair fight against distraction. Your willpower is finite. Your attention is finite. But the internet, the algorithm, the engineered dopamine loops, those are infinite. They have unlimited ammunition. They have teams of psychologists designing them to be irresistible. You are one person with one brain trying to resist a billion-dollar industry designed to hack that brain. You will lose. Every single time. Unless you change the battlefield. Stop trying to fight the distraction. Kill the access to distraction. This isn't about self-control. This is about self-architecture. It's about building an environment where distraction can't reach you even if you want it to. Think of it like this. You wouldn't try to quit heroin while keeping a needle in your pocket, would you? You wouldn't try to lose weight while keeping ice cream in your freezer. You wouldn't try to save money while keeping your credit card in your wallet. But with digital distractions, that's exactly what you're doing. You're trying to focus while keeping every distraction one click away, one swipe away, one moment of weakness away, and you wonder why you fail. Let me show you the 7 levels. 7 stages of evolution from slave to sovereign. Most people never make it past level 2. Some people think level 4 is the end, but there's something beyond that, something most people will never see. Level 1 is where you are right now. The distracted. You are in complete slavery to impulse. Your phone buzzes, you look. You think of something, you Google it. You feel bored, you scroll. There's no buffer between stimulus and response. You are a machine. Input. Output. That's it. You tell yourself you'll focus after you check this one thing, but there's always one more thing. One more email, one more message, one more video. People at level 1 don't even know they're distracted. They think this is normal. They think everyone lives like this. And the scary part is, they're almost right. I watch people at restaurants. The food arrives. Beautiful. Expensive. And what do? They photograph it. They filter it. They post it. They check to see who liked it. And by the time they actually eat, it's cold. They paid money to have an experience they didn't experience because they were too busy documenting it for people who don't care. That's level 1. That's the prison. And you don't even see the bars. Level 2 is the manager. This is where you are when you download the productivity apps, when you try to balance your distractions, when you tell yourself you'll only check social media twice a day. You're still negotiating with the enemy. You're still trying to keep the distractions around but control them, like trying to keep a tiger as a pet and being surprised when it eats you. You make rules. You break the rules. You make new rules. You break those too. You're not managing your distractions. Your distractions are managing you. The problem with level 2 is that it feels like progress. You feel like you're doing something, but you're still in the cage. You just painted the bars a different color. I see this all the time. People who set screen time limits on their phones. And what do they do when they hit the limit? They click Ignore Limit for today. Every single day. The limit isn't protecting you. It's just making you feel better about your slavery. Most people spend their entire lives here, trying to manage, trying to balance, trying to have it both ways. It doesn't work. Level 3 is the reducer. This is where you start making real decisions. You delete some apps. You turn off some notifications. You create some boundaries. But you're still keeping the door open. You still have the backup distractions, the just-in-case escape routes. You're like a drug addict who throws away most of their stash but keeps a little bit hidden, just in case things get really bad, just in case you really need it. That hidden stash is what kills you, because your brain knows it's there, and knowing it's there means you're still negotiating. You're still giving yourself an out, and as long as there's an out, you'll take it. You delete Instagram but keep Twitter. You block YouTube but keep Netflix. You remove games but keep Reddit. You're just moving the addiction around. You're not killing it. Level 3 is progress, but it's not transformation. Level 4 is the architect. This is where things start to get serious. You stop trying to control yourself and start controlling your environment. You design an anti-distraction ecosystem. You make the wrong choice structurally impossible. You remove your phone from your workspace, not turn it on silent. Remove it. Different room, different floor, different building if you have to. You block websites at the router level, not with an app you can disable in 2 clicks. At the router level where you'd need to physically reset it. You delete your social media accounts. Not deactivate, delete. Gone. Scorched earth. You tell people you're unavailable during certain hours, and you mean it. You don't check. You don't peek. You don't make exceptions. This is where you become dangerous, because you've accepted something that most people never accept. You've accepted that your future self cannot be trusted, that your future self will rationalize, will justify, will find a way to let the distraction back in. So you make the decision now, when you're strong, and you build a structure that holds you accountable when you're weak. Machiavelli taught that a prince must be feared to be effective, but before you can master others, you must master yourself. And mastery doesn't come from willpower. It comes from making the wrong choice impossible. Think of it like this. Every decision you have to make costs energy. Should I check my phone? Should I open this tab? Should I scroll? That's hundreds of micro decisions every day, and each one drains you a little bit. Each one is an opportunity to fail. Level 4, people eliminate the decisions. They don't have to decide whether to check their phone because their phone isn't there. They don't have to decide whether to browse social media because social media doesn't exist in their world anymore. 0 decisions, 0 failures. Level 4 is where most people stop. They think this is the end. They've built the system. They've created the environment. They're productive. But there's something beyond that. Level 5 is the soldier. This is where you develop the capacity to hold the line through pure discomfort. Because here's what happens when you remove all the distractions. When you sit down to do the hard work with no escape routes, the anxiety comes. It comes like a wave, like a physical force. Your brain starts screaming that you need to check something, that something is wrong, that you're missing something important. And this is where most people crack. This is where they go looking for a new distraction, a different distraction, because the anxiety is unbearable. But what if you didn't crack? What if you just sat there? in the fire, in the discomfort, and you breathe through it. This is withdrawal. This is the addiction fighting for its life. Level 4 people have the structure, but they still crack under this pressure. They find new distractions, food, coffee, reorganizing their desk for the 10th time. Anything to make the anxiety stop. Level 5 people sit with it. They feel the anxiety, they feel the discomfort, they feel their heart rate spike and their palms sweat and that crawling sensation in their skin that says, do something, check something, move. And they don't move. This is siege mentality. You are the castle. The distractions are the enemy army at the gates. They will use every tactic, boredom, anxiety, FOMO. They will whisper that everyone else is having fun while you suffer, that you're missing out, that this isn't worth it. And you man the walls. You don't negotiate. You don't open the gates just for a second. You hold the line until the work is done. I'm going to tell you something that nobody talks about. When you first start doing this, when you first sit with the discomfort without escaping, you're going to think you're dying. Your body will give you every signal that something is wrong. Your amygdala will fire like you're being chased by a predator. Your nervous system will go into full panic mode, but you're not dying. You're just feeling withdrawal. You're just feeling what it's like to not get the dopamine hit you've been addicted to. And if you can sit with it, if you can breathe through it, if you can let it wash over you without running, something breaks, the anxiety peaks, and then it starts to fade. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and suddenly you're on the other side. And the work that seemed impossible 5 minutes ago is now flowing. That's the breakthrough. That's what level 5 people know that level 4 people don't. The discomfort is temporary, but if you run from it, you'll be running forever. When you develop this capacity, something shifts. You stop feeling like a victim of your circumstances. You start feeling like a general. And generals don't complain about the enemy being strong. They adjust the strategy and continue the advance. But even this isn't the end. Level 6 is the immune. This is where the distractions still exist in the world, but they have no power over you anymore. You can have your phone next to you and not check it. You can have the internet available and not browse it. You can be surrounded by chaos and remain in focus. Not because you're resisting, but because you've developed immunity. Like how you can walk past a cigarette ad without craving a cigarette if you've never smoked. The stimulus exists, but it doesn't trigger the response. This is where you've rewired the dopamine pathways, where you've replaced the addiction to distraction with an addiction to creation. Work becomes the reward. Flow becomes the drug. Building becomes the high. You look at other people checking their phones every 30 seconds and you don't feel superior. You feel pity. Because you remember when that was you. And you remember the prison it was. I've seen this transformation in people. I've watched someone go from checking their phone 200 times a day to forgetting where their phone is for 6 hours. Not because they're trying, but because their brain doesn't want it anymore. The neural pathway got rewired. The habit got replaced. The addiction got transferred to something that actually serves them. Getting to level 6 takes time. It takes failure. It takes sitting through the withdrawal so many times that eventually your nervous system adapts. Your brain learns that focus is safe, that creation is rewarding, that you don't need the constant stimulation to feel okay. Most people never reach this level. They get to 4 or 5 and think that's enough. And maybe it is for them. But there's one more level. Level 7 is the void. This is total attention sovereignty. This is where there's no internal noise at all. You don't resist distractions. You don't manage them. You don't even notice them. Your mind is completely quiet, completely present, completely available to whatever you're doing. This is the state that monks spend decades trying to reach. But you don't need to sit on a mountain for 20 years. You just need to kill your distractions with such completeness, such ruthlessness, that eventually there's nothing left to kill. The void isn't empty. It's full. Full of potential. Full of power. Full of everything that you could create if you weren't constantly scattering your attention across 1,000 things that don't matter. When you reach this level, work stops feeling like work. It stops feeling like something you have to force yourself to do. It becomes as natural as breathing. You sit down, You create. You stand up. Done. No drama. No resistance. No internal war. Just pure execution. Most people will never see level 7. Most people will spend their entire lives at level 1 or 2, wondering why nothing ever changes. But you're not most people. Or at least, you don't have to be. Here's the protocol. Days 1 through 7 are surgery. You go through every app on your phone, every website in your history, every notification setting, every person who texts you nonsense in the middle of your work hours, and you cut, ruthlessly, surgically, without sentiment. If it doesn't directly serve your objectives, it dies. No trial period, no second chances. Delete, uninstall, block. This week will be hell. Your brain will rebel. It will give you every excuse, every justification, every reason to keep just this one thing. But what if someone needs to reach me? They'll call. Real emergencies don't come through Instagram DMs. But what if I miss something important? You won't. Anything actually important will find you. But what if I get bored? Good. Boredom is the birthplace of creativity. Boredom is where your brain finally has space to think. Don't yield to any of these voices. This is the infection fighting for its life. If you negotiate now, you lose everything. I want you to understand something. The first 3 days are going to be the hardest days of your life. Your hand will reach for your phone 50 times, 100 times, and it won't be there. You will feel phantom vibrations. You will hear phantom notifications. Your brain will make them up because it's desperate for the hit. Let it be desperate. Days 8 through 30 are controlled burn. You've removed the access. Now you teach your brain a new pattern. You give yourself designated distraction time. 30 minutes. After 8 p.m., in a specific location. Not in your workspace, not in your bed, not where you create. The rest of the time? Total focus. No exceptions. When the anxiety comes, and it will come, you sit with it. You let it burn. You breathe through it, and after 10 minutes, 20 minutes, it passes. And on the other side, flow. Real flow. The kind where time disappears, where you look up and 3 hours have passed and you've created something that didn't exist before. That feeling is more addictive than any distraction. Once you taste it, you'll never want to go back. During this phase, keep a journal. Write down every time you feel the pull, every time your brain tries to trick you, every rationalization, every excuse. You'll start to see patterns. You'll see that the pull is strongest at the same times every day. When you're tired, when you're stuck, when you're uncomfortable. And once you see the pattern, you can prepare for it. You can know that at 3 p.m. every day, your brain is going to tell you that you need a break. And you can decide in advance, I'm not taking a break at 3 p.m. I'm pushing through to 4 p.m., and then I'll take a real break, a walk, not a scroll. Days 31 through 90 are scorched earth. This is where you remove even the designated distraction time. This is where you prove to yourself that you don't need it anymore. No phone in the workspace, no backup plan, no escape route. You burn the ships. Like Cortez when he landed in Mexico. His men wanted to retreat, so he burned the ships. No retreat was possible, only forward, only victory or death. When you remove the option to distract yourself, something miraculous happens. The anxiety comes. The discomfort comes. The voice that says, I can't do this, comes. And because you have no escape, you sit with it. You let it burn through you. And it passes. It always passes. And on the other side is a version of you that you didn't know existed. A version that sits down to work and doesn't stand up until it's done. A version that doesn't need motivation because the work itself is the reward. A version that looks at your old life and doesn't recognize it, doesn't understand how you ever lived like that. That's rebirth. That's what happens when you stop negotiating with weakness and start executing it. But let me be clear about something. This path will cost you. Your friends who are still distracted won't understand. They'll invite you to scroll with them, to watch with them, to waste time with them. And when you say no, they'll call you obsessed. They'll call you extreme. They'll say you're no fun anymore. What they won't say, what they can't say, is that your focus terrifies them, because it holds up a mirror. It shows them what they could be if they weren't so weak, and that's unbearable. So they'll try to pull you back down. They'll mock you. They'll tempt you. They'll tell you that you're missing out. Let them. You are not here to be comfortable. You are not here to be liked. You are here to become inevitable. Machiavelli knew that the greatest leaders were often hated. They were hated because they made hard decisions. They were hated because they didn't compromise. They were hated because they were effective. You will be hated too, by the version of you that wants to stay mediocre, by the people around you who benefit from you being distracted, by everyone who needs you weak so they don't feel guilty about their own weakness. But you will be respected. Respected by the market. Respected by reality. Respected by the only judge that matters. Results. And here's what nobody tells you about results. Once you start getting them, once you start building, once you start creating value that didn't exist before, something shifts in how people see you. The same people who mocked you for being extreme. They start asking for advice. They start saying they wish they had your discipline. They start treating you differently, not because you changed, but because you won. And winning changes everything. You're standing at a crossroads right now. Path 1. You close this video. You feel inspired for 20 minutes. Maybe you delete one app. Maybe you try to focus tomorrow. But the algorithm already has you. It knows you better than you know yourself. It will pull you back. And in a week, you'll be exactly where you are now. Scrolling. Consuming. Dying slowly. Path 2. You accept that you're at war. You accept that your attention is the most valuable resource you have. You accept that every second you give to distraction is a second you'll never get back. You accept that the enemy isn't external. It's the part of you that's weak. And you kill that part. This isn't a metaphor. The version of you that checks your phone every 5 minutes has to die. Not get better. Die. Completely. Permanently. And in its place, something else is born. Something focused. Something relentless. Something that cannot be stopped because it cannot be distracted. You become untouchable. Not because nothing can touch you, but because you've removed everything that used to control you. So here's the declaration. If you're ready to kill the weak version, if you're ready to burn the ships and commit to total focus, write in the comments, Level 5. Not for me. For you. Because when you declare something publicly, you create commitment. And commitment creates reality. But I'm going to be direct with you. This method isn't for everyone. Most people will watch this, nod their heads, and change nothing. They'll keep their distractions. They'll keep their excuses. They'll keep their slow death. And that's fine. The world needs people at the bottom of the pyramid too. But if you're different, if you're the type who would rather burn everything down and rebuild than live in comfort one more day, if you're the type who sees their potential and it haunts you every night because you're not living up to it, then you're ready for what comes next. In the next video, we're going deeper into the architecture of attention. I'm going to show you the specific neurological rewiring protocol that makes focus not just possible, but inevitable. The protocol that turns you into someone who cannot be distracted even if they tried. But it requires you to accept something dark, something most people will reject. You'll see. We're just getting started.